Hi everyone, welcome to the Fire Artisan channel. Today we are playing Chris Kvartek's build of Golgari Adventure. So he played with this one in Mythic Championship VII, and he had a great run with it. It's an excellent deck. It's very fast, a lot of big threats in it. So if things are going well, you tend to be landing one huge problem after another. I'm going to point out a couple of his slight modifications on this archetype that make this deck really stand out, and yeah, it just makes me want to show it to you. So a couple things. One is that he's got 4 copies of Rotting Regisaur, which is a great threat on its own. If things are going well, we're drawing a decent amount of cards with the Innkeeper. So also we have 3 copies of the Great Henge to draw cards as the game goes on. So the discard, we can definitely live with discarding cards here and there from the Regisaur with this build. Another thing I'll mention that the Regisaur does is it discounts the cost of the Great Henge to just 2 green mana. So sometimes on turn 5 you can do, or turn 4 if we had a Paradise Druid down, we can do Rotting Regisaur plus Great Henge plus something else, another creature or 2, and we can be a little bit explosive that way. So so I love that. We've got 4 copies of Vivien Arkbow Ranger. A lot of people were who were playing this deck were experimenting with the Planeswalker ratio, basically, between Vraska and Vivien. Some people were playing Nissa. It's a matter of preference, but I really like how Chris goes all in on Vivien here, and I think she is an excellent choice. The drawback is that her mana cost is a little bit difficult with a 2-color deck, so she's not always going to be able to come out on turn 4, but her plus ability has great chemistry with creatures like Lovestruck Beast and Rotting Regisaur, because she gives them trample, because their weakness is basically just being blocked by tokens and not really dealing their damage. And we also have her -3 ability, which acts as additional removal in our deck, which is just going to be really important. And I'm also going to mention that her -5 ability is usually relevant. You get to it pretty quickly. You up her once, and then the next turn you can do that -5 ability if you need to do so. And if you have hasty threats or just really useful creatures to grab from the sideboard, then this can sometimes even be a game-winning activation here. So I'll show you our sideboard. Of course, someone's mowing the lawn right now at my apartment. Alright, hopefully that won't last too long. So we can grab cards like Shifting Ceratops in the sideboard, which against, like, say we're playing Azorius Control or Esper Control, this can just be a game-winning grab. If you have 5 mana, right, grab it, haste, that's game. So her -5 ability is definitely relevant. And we got 3 copies of the Great Henge, which is great to draw us cards. We gain life, so it's good against control-y decks and small creature decks. I love how we're playing 3 copies of it. Some people will play 1, 2, but he's kind of all in on it. I think 3 is about as many copies as you could possibly have of a 9-drop artifact, right? So sideboard-wise, this isn't Chris's exact sideboard. I have modified it to fit the needs of the current metagame. He played with this deck in a different standard as he knew it, but it's very similar. I mean, we have tools like Duress and Shifting Ceratops for sort of blue, white, black control types of decks. We have Thrashing Bronodons if decks like that are playing with artifacts or enchantments, or really for any deck that's relying on cards like that. He doubles as a mid-range creature threat that we can bring in against small creature decks to just overpower them. Noxious Grasp, that one's pretty straightforward. That's kind of basic color hate. Legion's End, also pretty straightforward. Great against mono red, great against even a deck like John's Sacrifice, tends to be very strong. Soul Guide Lantern, I have been reluctant not to have this in my sideboards these days, just because it is so valuable. I mean, the cycling deck comes to mind. Sometimes it feels like the only way to beat that deck is if you exile their graveyard to prevent them from having those colossal Zenith flares. Makes it very difficult for aggro decks to race them with those Zenith flares down. And yeah, I think that's all I really want to say about this deck. I'll talk about it more, of course, as we go on here. I think I might just do a few best of ones today. It's kind of what I'm in the mood for. Just get a sampling of the matchups here. I was watching Chris play with the deck this morning, and he obviously had a great run in Mythic Championship VII with it. Ouch. Yeah, I don't think you want to keep a hand with... It's a little bit interesting in that we only have one green card, but it's misleading in that we're going to have bigger problems than you would think with this opening hand, just because our deck has more of a need for green mana overall than it does for black mana. So I think I am going to ship this one back. This one looks great. I don't think you ever really need two Paradise Druids. It's a little bit interesting as to whether to play the Innkeeper. I think I am going to play it just to stay on curve here. All right. I wonder if we're looking at something like Jund Sacrifice here. Our 1 toughness creatures tend to be a real liability against this type of deck. Okay, this isn't looking like Jund Sacrifice anymore. Maybe we're just doing some ramping with this deck. I think we're going to go Questing Beast this turn. It really takes a while for the dust to settle on Questing Beast so that you can actually see if you're attacking or not, just to make sure. Alright, this is looking like a mono green ramp mid-range creature deck. Okay. Huh. Well, I don't love the Thrashing Bronodon. It does kind of spoil our plan for the Great Henge. Maybe, yeah, I guess we'll attack first. I mean, I have to feel like you still want to play it out and make them sacrifice their big creature. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. The good news is that, well, actually, they won't have to do this on their turn. They could do this right now. We'll get 2 life out of it. Yeah, it's a little weird in this case. It's serving as removal for their 3/4, and you gain 2 life. So that's interesting. All right, little scary. They're tapping a lot of mana here for a Voracious Hydra to kill our Questing Beast. Oh no, just for a huge Voracious Hydra. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna hold the land, but we can't hold on to the land with the Regisaur down, so we might as well just play everything out here. We're off the top for sure. All right, well now we've got a Great Henge against us. This is getting a little bit scary. Crawl Harpooner. All right. Yeah, well, this is very scary now. And another Thrashing Bronodon. My goodness. All right. Well, I like the Vivien. I'm not sure what we want to do with her. I guess I like plussing just to keep my creatures nice and big. I could kill this Hydra. I think I like plussing here. I guess we have to hope our opponent just starts bricking on creatures. I mean, otherwise we're just going to get drowned out in card advantage here. What's this one? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. That's probably an insurmountable problem for us. I mean, we can kill it with the next Vivien activation, but it's kind of depending on her to just keep buffing up our creatures. I think now their board is just a little bit too wide for comfort. Now they're basically on a creature frenzy here with the Vivien plus, well, it's worse than a creature frenzy. They can just play cards from anywhere. I think this game's over. Okay, so if I block for Questing Beast, Vivien takes 3. Yeah, this is bad. I think I'm going to do the Questing Beast. Huh. I actually kind of like the double block, because then they have to choose, right? I'd be happy with the Regisaur, Voracious Hydra trade. This way Vivien doesn't take any damage. Well, that's not the draw we're looking for. So there's not really any way that Vivien isn't dead next turn. Can't really think of any creatures that would make much of a difference in this game. Oh. No, actually I can think of one. I could kill their Great Henge. So we're going to go with that line. Now, we're definitely too far behind here. Maybe if they didn't have that Vivien and they just drew horribly from the top. But, I mean, they have this down. I think, yeah. If they have another huge turn here, I think we're about ready to concede. Uh-oh. And look at this. Just dumping mana. I've got to figure out the shortcut for just dumping all that mana at once. All right, go big or go home is our opponent's philosophy here. Oh, that is a huge Hydra. All right. I'm not sure what good is going to come out of this Vivien activation because this is a 0 converted mana cost. No, it's a 2. Oh. Oh, I'm just wrong about that. Oh, okay. It just Okay. Okay. Well, this game's just over right now. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, at least that's a trade. They don't all have trample. Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. I don't think we could have. I don't think we survived that attack, and even if we do, it's obviously just way too much damage. Let's jump in the queue again and see if we can. See if we can't do any better than that. We had a pretty good start there, but they had an excellent finish. All right. Well, this looks really promising. I mean, I said that last time. But yeah, this is exactly what we want. I think about 3 lands, both of our colors, Paradise Druid on turn 2. I don't think we'll do a turn 1 Foulmire Knight. I think I'd rather maybe draw a card. I mean, maybe it'll depend on what they're playing. Yeah, I think I'd rather keep him in hand to either activate an Innkeeper or draw a card or do something like that. We may be looking at Simic Flash here. It feels important to have a Paradise Druid down against a Flash deck. Okay, maybe not a Flash deck. Okay, yeah, I was completely wrong. This is maybe Bant Ramp with lots of weird basic lands. All right. Shows how good Uro is, right? We hit them with Questing Beast and they're at 19 still. That's crazy. Still a few turns away from Uro. Yeah, Questing Beast is just so good because even if they cast a Teferi here, we're not even slowed down all that much. Questing Beast just comes in, hits for 4, boom, no problem. I wonder if they're inclined to just shatter here. I'm not sure. Oh, they can't. They need another white source. All right, with no threat of counter magic, I think I'm just tempted to deploy this Vivien. And we are all in on Questing Beast. I'm not sure what they're holding up for 2 here. I don't have much of an imagination for what they might play. Root Snare. Yeah, they need to read his text. His damage can't be prevented, unfortunately for them. It's a lot of text, so I don't really blame them for not reading it. That Voracious Hydra thing got me last game. Yeah, a little bit of an interesting nuance with the rules there. I guess if you, I mean, they cast it for 7, so I guess it makes sense that they'd be able to search a 5 under it. I just always associate that with like a 0 converted, or a converted mana cost of 2 with X being 0. All right. Well, I like Great Henge plus more stuff, so let's do that. And then we'll have 3. Yeah, that's fine. Just looking for more creatures to keep the fuel going. I think I might spread the love a little bit here. Yeah, I like making the Paradise Druid even bigger of a problem just because it is hexproof when it's untapped. So I'm not sure how our opponent could get back from this one. I think they're in a lot of trouble here. Oh, this is a 4-color deck. Wow. Maybe a little bit of a crazy brew for them. You always have to respect people playing with a brew. We're not doing that today. This is an old deck. This is more of an archaeological act for us. This is a very old deck. And in my opinion, still very powerful, but it's not a brew. So respect to them for playing with something a little bit less established. Trying to imagine what they could have here. I mean, Questing Beast is already lethal, so if it's just another Root Snare, then I'm not too worried about that. Maybe it's Root Snare plus an answer to Questing Beast. All right, well, that's a Tail's End. So they countered our Vivien activation. I have to admit that that's never happened to me before. Yeah, I think this Questing Beast is still going to get through here. In fact, they're all going to get through because of Questing Beast text there. So, well, I'm happy with how that one went. That was a weird, like, sort of mirror match in the first game, except they had a stronger mana base. They answered our Great Henge. We answered theirs too late. They had the bigger Planeswalker. I mean, that was fun. It wasn't fun because we got our butts kicked, but it was funny to have that matchup. All right. This is a pretty strong hand. In terms of drawing cards, at least. So I think I'm going to stick with it. I think I want to go Fabled Passage first so that I have a guaranteed Innkeeper plus Knight for my second turn. I think that's what I'm looking at here. Playing a lot of people in Tier 1 Diamond. We're all the way back in lowly Tier 3. I'm going to grab a Forest with this Passage just to get a little bit closer to Vivien, I think. Maybe at the cost of Murderous Rider. Maybe that's something I'll think about depending on what archetype I see them playing. I see Aluris, obviously, but... So... Okay. Oh, Christ, it's the cycling deck. I think I'll go with a Forest. Forests are more important in this deck. Alright, so Innkeeper plus Knight. Hopefully draw a third land, and hopefully it's a black source. Alright, well, I'm still happy with that. Draw some more cards next turn. Alright. So believe it or not, they haven't cycled a single card yet. So we don't have access to Murderous Rider. I guess we'll make the obvious attack. Huh. I guess they're pretty eager to just get those things in the graveyard. I have to say I didn't really expect that block. I don't think I want to do the Regisaur yet. Alright, so now we have Murderous Rider for next turn, or Vivien. So I'm pretty happy with that. I don't see how this matchup is winnable for us, honestly, without Soul Guide Lantern. I mean, I think the path to victory is probably just to get super aggressive. So that must be why we saw the trade that we did. So if we're getting super aggressive, then I don't think we can do better than Questing Beast. So that's the plan. 4 in the yard, can get up to 8 this turn. With 4 damage at us. Wow. We are looking dead fast. And if we kill this Stinger, then that's another 2 damage from the Murderous Rider. I guess we just need to find a Great Henge ASAP to gain some life back, but that feels way too slow against a deck like this. Seven in the graveyard, could be 8. Do I want to kill this Stinger and then attack? I think we want to go with Vivien. I don't know how important it is to kill this Stinger. I mean, the incidental damage does feel pretty important. So I think they'll get 1 more and they'll have 9 in the yard and we'll be at 11. I mean, that is very precarious. It looks like they could just kill us this turn if they cycle 1 and then play a flare. Oh, no, no. No, they can't. Because they don't have the Stinger down. But yeah, I don't know how we recover from a big flare here. I just don't think we're doing enough damage to keep up with that. So they could flare for 10. That's insane. Oh, they're not flaring. Interesting. Oh my god, that's a chance for glory? That's hilarious. I have never seen that card in this deck. Oh my god. I would never have guessed that we'd get chance for glory that game. Who does that? I mean, I can see why it's good in the deck, but I have looked at a lot of deck lists for cycling. I mean, you remember I played it the other day, and I've never seen someone pack in a chance for glory. That's just hilarious. Yeah, real disappointing there. I thought maybe we had it. The lands look a little sketchy here. Yeah, I don't know about this. And it's a Yorion deck. I mean, it's tough to mulligan here because we are drawing into this hand, and I think I'll keep it, but it's not a good hand. We're drawing into it and scrying, so maybe we can find our Paradise Druid and get things back on track. When I first saw these sleeves, I thought that the person I was playing was actually, or had actually been in the World Championship. Well, we do need lands. And this is our 4th land. Yeah. Oh, Christ. I mean, at least we have a Murderous Rider for next turn. Wonder if this is one of those... Oh, this is a 4-color deck? My goodness. We're definitely a deck that's supposed to punish this kind of thing, so... Do I just want to main phase this? Yeah. I like to see Kaya getting more play these days. She's really strong, so it makes sense that people like her. Looks like they're just grabbing something this turn. I will be very interested to see what it is. They've seen a Murderous Rider, and that's it for us. No, they've seen an Innkeeper. Yeah, they know what we're playing. It's a Liliana. Wow. We're going to say hello. And get things going with Questing Beast. So still at least one turn away from Liliana. I'm not sure. Also only one black source down, so maybe she won't happen too quickly. Looks like they're going to get set up a little bit this turn. Oh, they missed a land drop. Yeah, they missed a land drop. That's huge. That's huge for us. Okay. Still only single spelling this turn. Definitely saving my Murderous Rider for the, well, for a bigger threat. Think I'm going to Vivien plus. Yeah, I think I'm going to Vivien plus. Feeling okay. I mean, feeling a lot better since they missed that land drop. I can tell you that. I can tell you that right now. Alrighty. Got a Doom Foretold coming at us here. I think it's got to be the Vivien, right? We can double spell this turn, so that's going to be the plan. And then should be able to sack the Murderous Rider. Then maybe clear the way with Swift End and attack for lethal. I mean, that's how it looks if things go well. We'll see if they drew the land that they needed here. Alright, so that can take care of maybe the Regisaur. Alright. They still need to answer the Questing Beast for us not to have lethal. Oh, Christ. No, they just need to answer the Murderous Rider. Yeah. And they did hit their land drop last turn, so Liliana's coming. I think I want to keep the Murderous Rider for her. Alright, we got our Questing Beast back. Or excuse me, we got the Regisaur back. I think we're about to lose it again, which is why they were comfortable doing that. Yeah, what an interesting deck we're playing here. This is pretty brutal. Yeah. Alright, they have the Yorion. Do we have a Great Henge that we probably won't be able to play? I mean, there are a lot of draws that make it so that we can play this. Like, we can play it if we get a Lovestruck Beast. It seems like the only way we can get back in this game. Oh, okay. Alright, they have firmly taken control here. And they do have 2 black sources. Alright, well, no Liliana yet. A little bit of a shame that that wasn't a Regisaur or something like that. It would be nice to have a Henge down, but I think we're way too far behind at this point. Feels like they have all the answers they want. And they're just taking their time on this Liliana. I guess they don't really see a need to play it right away. Pretty brutal to draw a second Great Henge there, I have to say. Okay, well, Soul Guide Lantern is one card I'm not worried about. We don't really make use of our graveyard. I mean, I guess we have Order of Midnight, but other than that, we're not too worried about that. Yeah, I think I'm inclined not to block here, because if I draw a land, I can just play one of these Great Henges. Maybe they're just waiting until I had 2 creatures to play Liliana. I mean, now we'll finally be able to cast the Great Henge, but... Oh, they're playing an Uro now? Jesus. Nope, guess not. Why not, right? All right. I think we're going to call it here. I mean, there was no way we were coming back there, but I think that's the final straw. That's the straw that broke our back. All right, let's do one more win or loss. Unfortunately, it has been mostly losses so far. I was definitely having better luck yesterday with this deck. This is the second Sarah Angel avatar that we've seen. Yeah, this looks okay. I think I'm looking for more green mana or an Innkeeper. Paradise Druid seems like a pretty good draw, actually. I don't think we can do much better than that for the second turn. Looking to draw lands. It's like I said about this deck. It's why am I playing so many weird decks right now? Okay. I mean, I think this is the kind of deck you just have to beat down as fast as humanly possible. So that whatever they're doing with this card, we just can't let them get to their shenanigans. All right, very happy to get another land there. I think we'll just go right back to Questing Beast. Do I attack both at the player or make a token? Is definitely a question. So if I draw land next turn, then it could be Vivien. I think I just attack both of the player. I don't think I want to give them a lot of time here. We already have them at 10, so I mean, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing with this deck. Okay. They may pay 2. I mean, I don't think we're gonna pay 2 here. They can have their treasure token. All right. So beat down options. So we've got 6 damage, 8 damage with Vivien. I think it's Vivien time. I'm going to spread the love with Vivien. And we'll continue our assault on their life total. They're down to 2. I mean, at this point, even if they clear the board, like any questing beast off the top would do it. All right. Well, if they... Yeah, I think they just had too many threats to answer there. Another crazy brew. I mean, let's look at this battlefield for a second here. Yeah, they were all geared up for the long game. So that was pretty much an ideal matchup for our deck. Really cool though. This is a diamond level player who's playing with a very unusual deck. All right. So I think I'm just going to call it right here. Thank you very much for watching. We did okay today. Not too strong, not too shabby either. We did get a couple of wins in, so I think you kind of saw what this deck is capable of, and there were definitely a couple of matches that sort of could have gone our way if our draws lined up a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, maybe we got a sense of why this deck isn't super popular right now. It doesn't seem like the matchups are that great, but it can definitely still win. It's still very powerful, so maybe it's just a matter of fine-tuning the sideboard and you know, to a certain extent, the main deck to suit the matchups. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, thanks again.